No sooner had the NATO conference in Lisbon wrapped up with a tentative total withdrawal date from Afghanistan in 2014 than the number crunchers here at the Center for Strategic and Budgetary Assessments were on their calculators, figuring out exactly what it will cost. The price tag for extending the NATO mission in Afghanistan to 2014, $125 billion more. Broken down, it looks like this. If Obama keeps troop levels high and then leaves in 2014, on top of the already estimated cost of the war over 9 years of $3 trillion, another $413 billion for 2011 to 2014, an extra $125 billion from the $288 billion first estimated. This is the report which adds it all up and concludes the U.S. public will get stuck for at least another $125 billion. Todd Harrison, who did the calculations, figures it costs about $1 million a soldier per year, and for 3 or 4 more years, the bill for the war soars to nearly $500 billion.
That $1.1 million figure per troop per year, to be clear, that includes all of the operating costs that go along with having a soldier there. A lot of it is actually fuel burn, contractor support, food, logistics.
With the new incoming Congress dominated by Republicans demanding to cut programs and the deficit, you'd think that another $500 billion for Afghanistan would be voted down. But observers say that's highly unlikely.
The war costs do come out of the federal treasury just like everything else, and they do end up adding to the deficit. And so over the long run, that means that deficit reduction efforts are going to have to be more intense in other areas of the budget, either cutting more spending in other parts of the budget or raising more tax revenues in other parts of the budget.
Where will the money come from? Many average Americans feeling the effects of the recession say it's just throwing money down a hole when it's needed so bad at home.
The bottom line is I'd like to see the guys out of there. I'd just like to see them out of there. So it's hard to justify that kind of money when you don't support what's going on.
I do think it's a shame we have to spend so much money. I think they're all a bunch of rats. So, to spend money on something like that, we have to, is just terrible.
The projected costs do not include the cost of borrowing the money to pay for the war and occupation, and price inflation on everything from petrol to bullets over the next 3 to 4 years. Add to that the cost of paying for health care for injured Afghanistan veterans, another estimated $100 billion, and the cost for the decision in Lisbon will, according to the experts, jump to well over $500 billion, most of it out of the pocket of already stressed U.S. taxpayers. Mike Kellerman, Press TV, Washington.